Hello time travelers! I needed to buy some storage for AI stuff, so I decided to make a video to give you guys some ideas. Ideas like what capacity you might need. Because running out of space when I'm testing new AI tools is a pain in the butt! This is my look of disapproval. Some of this was paid for with Patreon money, so thank you everyone. It also went towards some groceries because inflation is capitalism gone wrong! This is my look of disapproval. Well, first of all, 128 gigs of RAM. Because when I'm testing some crazy new thing someone tells me in Discord or wherever, and I've also got a bunch of other tabs open, like I'm researching stuff for a video or studying some new thing in Stable Diffusion or a new way to train a LoRa, my computer will lock up. So I'm going to see if 128 gigs of RAM is going to solve that. That was pretty expensive. You can't really see on the ends of the boxes what the capacity of these M.2 SSDs are because my serial number, I'm not going to dox myself, I'm hiding them. But one of them's a 4 terabyte and that's going to go into my main editing rig to replace the 2 terabyte that currently has the folder for the videos that I'm currently working on, as well as a separate folder for my Steam library, and I stream on Thursdays. So you might want to come and hang out. It's not really about the gaming, it's whatever you want to talk about. It's actually the #1 place where I learn about new AI tools that I haven't heard about before because somebody will drop into chat and say, hey, have you tried blah, blah, blah? And then a 1 terabyte SSD to replace the 500 gigabyte in this machine right here. Here, this is yours, take it, toss. Because there's a 500 gigabyte SATA SSD on the other side of the case and there's a 1 terabyte SSD inside. I want to take the 2 terabyte that I'm currently using in my main editing rig and put it in here so I can have more space for doing AI. Now, this is what you guys want to think about. If you're just barely getting into AI and you just want to try a few models, maybe some Stable Diffusion and maybe some local large language models or whatever, a 1 terabyte should be fine. But you start getting into it and having a few different models for each thing that you do, and you want a lot of room for your outputs until you choose what you want to keep and you delete the rest, then you're going to need a 2 terabyte. And this is going to be going into a laptop that I haven't purchased yet. A future video whenever I do get that laptop. And this is a 12 terabyte hard drive that after formatting and converting bits to bytes or however that math works, it's actually only about 10 terabytes. And I'll throw onto the screen some spreadsheet that I did where I compared the prices at the time. And this was the cheapest per terabyte. And I'll talk more about it when I get back over to my PC. Hey, this is Future Me. In the annotation, I say that this is the cheapest per gig for this series. Because yes, you can find cheaper hard drives, but I always do a ton of research before buying a hard drive, and I look at features and failure rates. I have a few 4 terabyte ones like this that I've been using for a while. So this series or model or whatever you want to call it has 7,200 RPM and 256 megabyte cache. Those are the numbers you want for faster read and write access. And on the manufacturer's website, they have a new metric I didn't hear about before I bought my 4 terabyte ones, which is MTBF. That means mean time before failure, which is apparently really high for this one. A higher number is better for this measurement. And this is switches. Because I got this mechanical keyboard that's super cheap, and it's not in this scene. It's not, we're not talking about this today, but I'll probably do a video later on where I solder these in. The name of that keyboard is actually GameSir. It's funny name. But oh crap, I just realized something. My whole plan of saving money whenever I buy a bunch of drives is I write down on paper, you upgrade the drive in this particular machine, and you take the one drive that's in it and move it to another machine, and then another machine moves this machine, whatever, you get the idea. It's the whole hand-me-down thing. But this machine only has one M.2 slot. I looked up on the PDF for the manual, and I'll throw that on the screen. And, yeah, there's only one slot for the M.2, which is green arrow pointing right there. And there should be one down here. A lot of motherboards do have one down there. But, okay, back to real-life view. There's the M.2 slot, currently populated with the 1 terabyte. I have my AI stuff on there right now. And some motherboards, this gimbal won't go up at that angle. Yeah, it's in there, like above, and you can't even see. This is RTX 3060. I'm still working on the video for that. I really need to get around to just bolt down like all weekend and just do all the tests that I need between all my different GPUs. Actually, I've already started doing this. I've been doing it for a few days. Some of the tests take 2 days just for one card. What I'm talking about is testing different stable diffusion workloads on different GPUs, because I did a video about the RTX 3060 12 gig variant, and well, I'm the only person that I know of that does AI stuff videos and is talking about the hardware. So yeah, I need to do a video where I do some testing and prove my point. Boink! Alright, there's a video if you want to see why the 3060 12 gig is a good option for running AI. It all has to do with the VRAM. Toss! Okay, it's not really for that laptop. That's an old laptop. It's practically 12 years old. Someone bought it for me in 2013, and it was already almost a year old then because they got it for me as a birthday present. And they were like, if you got a laptop as a birthday present, what would you want in it? And I always say, always wait till a CPU is out for a year before you buy it, because then you know it's good. That's one of my things for saving money and also not getting bad crap. But I've upgraded this laptop so many times that I can't upgrade it anymore. Oh, and there's the game sir I was talking about. Sir? Sir! Game sir! Sir! Game sir! Oh, and this is my subscribe button. Pillow button. Subscribe. Gimbal! Ah! Here's my main editing rig. You get 12 terabytes now. Take it. Toss. Actually, never throw a hard drive. It'll break it. It's actually down here. And I'm getting all my stuff put on there so that I can replace one of these 4 drives that I got going on. It's going to get replaced with that. So here's the thing. I found out if you're going to be doing a lot of AI stuff, 4 terabytes is perfect until you get really crazy into it. I was about to replace that drive with the bigger one because it was getting full, but then I realized there was a bunch of AI stuff in there I wasn't using, so I deleted that. I also wasn't keeping up on going into my various stable diffusion folders and deleting their outputs when I was done. Oops. Okay, I had a brain slip and I didn't explain why I actually bought the 12 terabyte hard drive. I've got this system of having my data backed up. The rule of thumb is, if you have your data in one place, you have it in no places. Because what if that drive fails, it's gone. So, more about this in a second. This rig does have 2 M.2 SSDs installed. One of them is right there. I got this heatsink off of Amazon and rubber bands off of Amazon to hold the heatsink onto it. Come on, Ari Gimbal, can you let me show? No, Gimbal? Yeah, you could see the other SSD. It's that heatsink behind my sound card. That's the 2 terabyte that I almost thought of taking that 2 terabyte and moving it up there and making it my main drive, because this slot up here is PCI Express Generation 4. It's faster than this one, which is Generation 3. But all I had to do was reevaluate what was on that drive, and a big chunk of it is going to be going onto the 12 terabyte when it replaces one of these to go in here. Because basically, you would think that, okay, this is a backup of that one, and this is a backup of that one. Well, it's true for this, but my backup strategy for files that are on these is way more complicated, and I had to figure it out on paper, and then I wrote a script to do it, and I just run the script once a month. So like I was saying, my plan was to pull this 2 terabyte drive out of here and put it in that rig that was in the kitchen that I was just at, because my son and I share that. When he's over, he streams on there, and if I'm in the basement, I take that computer down there and stream on it. But I also use it for AI stuff throughout the week, and I'm going to need 2 terabytes of space. But now I don't know what to do, because I think I'll get the Inland 2 terabyte SATA SSD, because you can get it for less than 125 bucks. It's from Micro Center. They also sell it on Amazon. And maybe I'll take this 2 terabyte and move it up to the first slot like I was originally saying. I don't know. There's a whole other computer I need to talk about in this video. My laundry is... Alright, this is a whole other room. My laundry is all hung up on tripods because reasons. I haven't gotten around to fixing my dryer. Shut up. This is a computer case my son donated for the AMD project. Obviously, he would be filming testing videos on this rig when he's over as well. It's the same case as the one in the kitchen. There's nothing in there right now because I had to send a motherboard back to MSI to fix it. For the 3rd time! I mean, their repair service is terrible. They'll send a motherboard back to you and it's still not working. So obviously they didn't test it. And they're like, did you try it with different GPUs? I'm like, did I try it with different GPUs? Anyways, I was thinking of taking the 500 gigabyte out of the streaming rig, put it in here for the main OS drive, because I had to tell my son, quit installing stuff on Streamer because the drive's getting full. I mean, like, Windows 11, if you install it, I thought it was going to be less than 30 gigs because that's how much space I give my VMs when I test different versions of Windows. I make a virtual machine on my rig and then, you know, I'm good to go. But it was more than that. So then every program you install adds more. And every program has settings and features that download and go into different folders, and that fills it up. It's like, ah! But on this, I'm only planning on having a few apps just for testing. 500 gigs would be perfect. And then one extra 1 terabyte M.2 SSD from any other system, probably the one that's in the M.2 slot in Streamer, was going to go in here to be testing AMD AI workloads. Oh, my poor Nin sticker. Why you no stick? Everything else stick just fine. Except you. Go down, stay. And if you're ever watching my videos and you see me remote into a computer that has a green theme desktop, it's Miner 3. It's this one. And that's my RTX 3080 Ti with the fan up against it to help it get a tiny bit more performance because of the heat on the backplate. And that's where Miner 2 used to be. It donated its motherboard to eventually go in there whenever MSI fixes it. And if they don't, I'm just giving up because I've already sent it to them 3 times. I'll just buy an ASRock board because you can't trust ASUS boards these days. Now I'm in the living room. This is Miner 1, which I haven't used in a while. But I think at one time I had 17 GPUs in here. Wait a second. Did this somehow turn into a tour of all my computers video? No, I've got other computers beyond that, but I'm stopping. No. Oh yeah, I didn't show this. Doesn't matter. It's just a prop for a future skit video. Toss.
Shut up and take my money.
And now this is the self-promo section of the video. On this channel, I not only teach you about AI stuff, but I actually talk about hardware. So subscribe and like and bell and all the things that the YouTube likes, and consider throwing some money my way over on the Patreon link in the description below. I got my first Patreon payout, which took a few months because their paperwork takes a while there, and that money greatly contributed to getting this hardware. And now, enjoy this random thing. I called my father for Father's Day, and I had him send me some random stuff until I decided, okay, I'm going to use that in the video. And this is a picture that says Salvage Yard in Roswell, New Mexico. And it's got a flying saucer, or what looks like a flying saucer amongst really old cars. Now, looking at the picture itself, it looks old. That's number one. And I do believe that could be New Mexico because of the desert backdrop. What I think this is, and my dad started to say this, and we agreed immediately, because as soon as he said it, yeah, that's probably what it is. It's probably a diner they had with a fake UFO up on top, and then it ended up in a salvage yard. But in elementary, I learned about waste and trying to save the planet and all that stuff. But you're supposed to reduce, reuse, and recycle. But there's a fourth R, and that's repurpose. So always think about repurposing. If you can use something for something else. And that's what I'm doing with these SSDs. I'm not selling them. Now that I think about this, after this, I'm probably going to have 1 spare M.2 SSD and 1 spare 4 terabyte hard drive. Which is good. That means the next time I need something, if I have to juggle stuff around between different machines, then I'll probably already have what I need. And now, dad joke time. Because while I was on the phone with my dad, we talked about potential dad jokes for this video. And in light of the capacity of drives, this is the segue into this one. It says, apparently you can only say, "Look at you, you got so big," to children. Old girlfriends tend to get offended. So don't say that to them. If you're trying to decide what GPU to get for your AI workloads and you haven't seen it, I did a video on the RTX 3060 and 12 gig edition and why it's going to be a solution for a lot of different things. That video is right here. And if you're looking to get something that's a little bit newer, you're going to want to check out this video over here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that's right here. And if you haven't checked out my Patreon, because I got benefits for people that are already running AI, I let you get my LoRa's for cheap and configs and all kinds of other stuff. And my Patreon link's right there. And I will see you in the next one.